listening to us at this time. I take this opportunity to welcome you all to this brief discussion. I am by name Mitiel Bernard, gonna take you through the accessories to the crime. Accessories to the crime, these are people who knowingly and voluntarily help the offender to commit a crime. Generally, these people, they know very well that someone has committed or is intending to commit a crime, and they go ahead and extend their aid to the person towards the accomplishment of that crime or after the execution of the crime. We are therefore going to split them into two. These accessories are divided into two. We have accessories before the fact and we have accessories after the fact. Accessories before the fact, they can also be called accomplices to the crime. Why? Because their participation is directly proportional to the commission of the crime by the principal offender. These accessories before the crime, why we call them accomplices to the crime, their mens rea is the one that results to the commission of the crime that a principal offender commits. Now therefore, we are going to look at 4 examples of accessories before the fact. Number 1, we are having the aiders. We have the aiders, then we have the abettors, then we have 4 categories of the accessories before the fact, whom I also told you that they can be called accomplices. 1, we have the abettors. The abettors, these are people who physically help or aid the person who is committing a crime. They provide physical help towards the the aiders provide physical help towards the commission of a crime. For example, let's take this scenario where we have 2 gents and one is committing rape inside the room and another guy is at the doorway keeping a lookout at who could be coming. So that person is practically providing help to the principal offender who is committing a crime, and that person who is at the doorway is not directly committing the crime but is directly helping someone to commit a crime. That is an aider. Then we have the abettors. Abettors, these are the people who encourage the principal offenders to commit the crime. For example, you might be 2 people moving along the way and you happen to encounter a certain girl and one rapes the girl. One will be raping as the other guy will be saying, you continue doing it. That moral boosting is the one we call abetting. Then we have the counselors. With the counselors, these are people who have led others to commit a crime. For example, you sit with someone, maybe is your friend, and you are having intentions of committing a certain crime, like maybe murder. He does not help you to murder, but he procures you, he persuades you to go ahead and do that work you are planning to doing, which is illegal. Those are procures. So in simple terms, many people confuse and they say aiding is the same as abetting, but with aiding, physical is providing physical help. Abetting is encouraging someone to commit a crime. Then we have counselors, or counseling is giving advice in line with the intention someone is planning to do. Then we have procurers, they advise. Those are called accessories before the fact, who can also be called the accomplices. Now if we cross to the other side of accessories after the fact, they are here as shown. The fact, These people, often they are not at the scene of the crime, where the crime is being committed, but they help the principal offenders after committing the crime. And they are here. Number one, we are having shelters. Yes, we have shelters. Shelters, these are people who provide a hideout to the criminals. They harbor the criminals. For example, the police is chasing maybe someone who has committed a crime somewhere, and the person comes to your place. You hide that person, knowingly that the person has committed an offense. You hide the person, and when the police approaches to your place, you say, I don't know and have not even seen the person, but in a real sense the person is in your room providing a hideout. That is a shelter. Then we have relievers. These people, relievers, for them they help a principal offender to get out of the certain situation or of that situation where law is looking for him. For example, someone commits murder in Uganda, but he has no transport maybe to take him abroad. I will come in, or another person who will come in, but he has known that the person committed an offense. He comes in and helps that person by giving maybe a lift to Kenya. That becomes relieving. Relieving means getting someone out of that situation. But for this case, the relievers and the accessories, after the fact, they help a criminal to get out of justice, not to be caught by law. Those are relievers. Then we have the assisters. The assisters, this can extend the financial or material help to the principal offender after committing a crime. For example, as I told you, someone might be maybe at KIU but has committed an offense and he has no transport maybe to pull or to push that person to Mukono. Then the person who has known that the other guy is an offender comes in and gives like a transport that you first disappear from this place for some time. That one is assisting an offender. Now, how can we say, or how can we conclude that someone is an accessory before the fact and someone is the fact? We must prove three elements, and not we, but the prosecution or the prosecutor must prove three elements, and they must be met before we conclude that you are either an accessory before the fact or an accessory after the fact. Number one, the act must have been committed by another person. With accessories, you should have not personally committed, but you helped someone towards the commission of that crime. Number two, you must have participated voluntarily and knowingly. How? You have not done the crime you yourself, but you directly, knowingly, voluntarily helped someone whom you knew very well is going to do something that is wrong. So those are the elements that we must consider before we conclude that someone an accessory before the fact or someone is an accessory after the fact. Then we have the difference between accessories before the fact and accessories after the fact. Accessories before the fact, they are also called the primary actors in a crime. Why are they called the primary actors? Because they lay a foundation to the commission of a crime. That's why we call them primary actors. Then we can also call these accessories before the fact, we call them second degree principles. Why? Because in most cases they are the people who form mens rea. They don't commit any act, but they form mens rea, which results into the commission of a wrong act. Now, with the accessories, these people, they are not always at the scene. You get to know, they are not always at the scene, and they hope knowingly that someone has committed. For them, they come in after the commission of a crime. Now, in simple terms, accessories before the fact, they are always at the scene. Accessories after the fact, they are not always at the scene. Number two, accessories before the fact, they have the same criminal culpability as the principal offenders. But accessories after the fact, their criminal culpability is subsequent to the main principle. Now, how can we, there are some exceptions that can make someone, not everyone who participates in the commission of the crime is an accessory, or not all accessories are liable for that crime. Why? Number one, if we go to the section 393 subsection 2, we shall get to know that if a husband commits a crime and he comes back home and his lady keeps that man, and the law comes looking for the man and the lady denies, that lady is not liable for being accessory after the fact. Why? Because he is part of that family and he has, law allows that person to keep her husband. If you're my child and you steal something, you bring to me, maybe a young child, and someone come looking for you, I say, my kid, I don't know where he has gone, I deny, but in a real sense you in the room. There, I'm not liable for that offense. I'm an accessory, but I'm not liable. So, point to note, not all accessories are culpable. Some of them are exempted from criminal liability. Now, which criminal liability do we judge, or do we allege to these accessories to the fact? When you help someone to dodge justice, we shall use the law which is called doctrine of common purpose. The doctrine of common purpose will tell us on how to handle such matters. Number, we shall call it its common law purpose, because I was still explaining the doctrine of common purpose is the one that gives us authority to judge someone by the criminal culpability and to weigh the punishment of that person. For example, the punishment to the accessories before the fact is the same as the punishment to the main principle. Then the punishment to the accessories after the fact is subsequent or halfway the punishment of the principle. But as provided under section 393, the punishment of the accessories after the felon is always 3 years. That is under section 394 of the Penal Code. Now, these accessories, as I told you, not everyone who is intending to helping or aiding someone are liable for that. So, I think for that, we can at least try to appreciate, differentiate, and even acknowledge the true content of the accessories before the fact and the accessories after the fact. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you for that attention and that intention of listening to us. You can like us, follow us, and comment where necessary. As human beings, whatever happens is necessary to us. For that note, I'd like to wish you the very best in your endeavors. I love you all, my fellow sons and daughters of soil. You're welcome.